Good evening, junkies. Welcome to EminiJunkie.com, your yes trading mentor's free trading video for Tuesday, May 11th, 2010. Today we had a total of 12 executable trade signals for a max potential of 34 ES ticks. This video is for educational purposes only, is intended to highlight our high probability trade setups and give you a feel for the quantity of trades taken each trading day using this approach. A full trading plan and daily live trading room can be accessed via our website at EminiJunkie.com. Okay, we opened up this morning and we actually had a trade in the process of setting up right at the open. Opened up at 11:46 and we traded down to our moving average, got a signal to get long. That produced targets 1 and targets 2 to the upside for 13 ticks. And as you know, this market, although it had a large gap down, it just kept cranking higher and higher and higher. And eventually at 10 o'clock we had a little bit of a news trade go on there. We made a quick run up, then we came down, actually got a signal get short, got our first contract off, didn't get to follow through to the downside we were looking for, ended up getting stopped out for a 2-tick loss on that particular trade. As the market continued higher, we actually crossed back above our moving average, came back, got a signal to get long. That produced targets 1 and targets 2 to the upside for 9 ticks as we went ahead and filled our gap. Came back down through our moving average right around 10:34, pulled back to it, got a signal to get short, and unfortunately for us, based on where we got filled, this trade ended up being a full stop out for the majority of the traders. Some people did get their first contract off, and it became a -2 stop out, but in our room we had a few traders that ended up taking a full stop out, so I'm going to go ahead and count this as a T0 -14 on that particular trade. And then we came back up through our moving average, back to the pivot, pulled back to it, got a signal to get long. Again, first contract off, no follow through to the upside before getting stopped out over here to the tick, which is always just frustrating, only to see the market go higher. But anyway, we got stopped out to the tick on this particular trade, came down through our moving average, got a signal to get short, again got our first contract off, got stopped out as the market continued higher and went up and ultimately filled our half gap and full gap on the day. But in doing so, we crossed back over the moving average, got a nice deep pullback, got a fill entry on the button, signal to get long, produced targets 1 and targets 2 to the upside for 17 ticks going into the lunchtime dead zone. Now in lunchtime you can see we broke through our overnight session highs, went up, tested our previous day's high, went up and tested our overnight session highs. Our previous day's session acted as resistance, then came back down to our moving average and then bounced and continued higher, broke through that level, and ultimately put in the high coming outside of lunch. Now we started trading sideways after this lunchtime dead zone was over. We started initiating trades again at 1:15. In doing so, we actually had a signal to get long, took another full stop out, so a T0 -14 on that trade. On the rebound we got a signal to get short, first contract came off, ended up with a 2-tick stop out, only to get another signal to the long side, and this was an extension entry for targets 1 and targets 2, 8 ticks on that particular trade. And then we had the big cross to the downside, broke through those previous days and overnight leverage, our overnight levels, and this was actually a fast moving trade. There was an extension entry over here at 225, and that produced a huge trade for us. Targets 1 and targets 2 were filled for 25 ticks as the market traded back down towards our pivot before finding a little bit of support. Had a quick extension bounce off of that, and again there was a longer term level down here for those of you looking at longer term time charts. We did have a longer term level we pulled into, came off of that with some gusto, gave us an extension entry to get the first contract off, no follow through, ended up getting stopped out on the rest of that for a -2 tick. So a very, very, very active day, just like we have had since basically last Thursday. The market's just shown a lot of volatility, set off a lot of signals for us, but the main thing is taking the signals and keeping a cool head on your shoulders. You can still perform quite well in this market today. 12 trades, 34 ES ticks. I want to thank you for watching. For more details on this plan, including all the chart setups, or to join our live trading room or video newsletter, please visit eminijunkie.com or simply click the link at the top of the screen. Thanks, and make it a great day.